one that was reasonably cost for the sellers, and it all worked out. But it was, when people react really quickly and upset, it's like, okay, you just got to take a deep breath and let's
Yeah.
work through this, and we're going to get through this together, and we'll make the buyer and seller happy.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. All right, welcome back, cats and kittens, to The Closing Table. My name is Kevin C. McIntosh, your host. And joining us on this episode, we want to welcome April Polihonki to The Closing Table. How you doing, April?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great myself. Thank you for asking. Another day, another opportunity to learn from yourself, your experience in your market. But we are going to start off with what I like to start the closing table off with, an icebreaker. April, for you, I have something called This or That. It's a couple words and phrases that may be contrary to each other, but I just want you to choose one. And then if you want, you can tell us why you chose it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, then. Cool. Let's do this. First one. Curb appeal or interior appeal?
Interior appeal.
Okay. Next one. Turnkey property or fixer-upper?
Turnkey.
Okay. Active income or passive income?
Passive.
Seemed obvious, right? Single family home or multifamily property?
Single family.
Okay. Last one. Short-term rental or long-term rental?
Long-term rental.
Okay. That's fair. There it is. That's pretty much it that I have for you for our icebreaker, April. Thank you for playing our game. There's no prize to win. I just want to see where your brain was, get it started. So now at this portion, I pretty much like to let you introduce yourself, but in a different way, April. In 60 seconds or less, if you can tell us who you are outside of real estate.
So I'm April again. I'm a mom to 3 kids. I have a 19-year-old, 16-year-old, and 14-year-old.
All right.
Soon to get married in September, which is awesome. Real estate's my side hustle, so my main gig is I'm a
Mm.
benefits educator for McLaren.
Mm.
So that's my main gig, and I like to hang out with my friends, give back to the community, experience what life has to offer, basically.
Nice. I think this might be the first time, maybe not, but the first time we've had a guest on who actually admitted and said real estate is a side hustle. And I like that. Because we're definitely going to dig deeper into that. So thank you first and foremost. But with that being said, let's go and get into exactly where you're serving. Geographically, first and foremost, if you can describe for our audience who may have never been to your market, and then talk about some of the real estate statistics or things that's going on with real estate in your market.
Yeah, so I serve the greater Lansing area, which is like Lansing, Holt, East Lansing, Lanesburg, Eaton
Mm-hmm.
Rapids, St. John's, that area. So the capital of Michigan, if you're looking for a land marker. The market is crazy if you're a buyer. Unfortunately, we're seeing like 20 to 30 offers on one house because our inventory is so low, and houses are selling for well over asking, and they're usually getting offers within the first few days of hitting the market too.
Yeah, same story we've been hearing for quite
Yeah.
some time on the closing table. So I get it. Okay, thank you for that insight, April. I want to ask you about life changes that you face throughout your life. There's different types of achievements that you still achieve even through the ups and downs. So how have these experiences influenced your approach to real estate, specifically in dealing with clients who may be dealing with the same type of life-changing events that you've dealt with personally?
Well, my approach to anything really is it all works out, and I really try not to get overwhelmed or stressed with any ups and downs that come my way. So I think I am a really good, like, stable energy for my client because obviously buying a home, selling a home is very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And so I offer that just calmness for them and just to remind them, that everything works out. We're going to get through this together. And, I'm here by your side. And, I like to have people share their feelings with me too. And sometimes just sharing those stresses with somebody can help you relieve that stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to be a
Mm-hmm.
listening ear for my clients.
I get it. Yeah. It's nice to have that common ground, just to let your clients
Hmm.
know that, I'm a human too. I've been through it too. A lot of people have lost a family member and have to deal with that, or been through a divorce, or even gained a family member. But there's many different things that, we've all been through, and you can use that as common ground to relate with your clients. So that's great that you
Hmm.
can do that. Can you recount a time in your experience where you maybe had to mediate conflict between neighbors during a sale or a purchase property? Maybe a busy or rude neighbor got involved in some type of way and you had to get involved. Any of those type of stories you could share?
So I've been in real estate. It will be 3 years in October. And I
Congratulations.
just, thank you. I just feel very blessed that all my transactions, for the most part, have been very smooth. I
Okay.
haven't had any conflict of the neighbor kind or anything like that.
Mm,
My friend who's been in the business, she was on your podcast too, Shasta. She's been in the business for 10 years and she's like, I don't know how
okay.
you're not having any crazy deals by now, but I I just am feeling very blessed, knock on wood, that I continue to have smooth dealings.
Okay. Good. How do you think you would handle something like that if that were to come? I mean, obviously, we want you to continue to have very smooth transactions
Yeah.
throughout your career. But in the event, let's speak hypothetically, that a neighbor would get involved in asking a bunch of questions or maybe slowing down your process while you are, listing a property or showing a buyer a property. How would you handle something like that?
Well, I think at the end of the day, either side just wants to be heard. And so when you're
Mhm.
hearing somebody who's having complaints, you just want to make them feel like you're hearing them and that you're going to offer solutions. And sometimes those solutions aren't exactly what they want, but they want to see that you're going to try to help them as well and that you're not
Gotcha.
just there to, make their life more difficult or things like that. They just want to be heard and to have a compromised solution that works for both parties.
There it is. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Ultimately, just being attentive, listening, and letting the person speak, and then finding solutions between. Then I got it. Sorry to throw that
Hmm.
hypothetical out there at you. Hope it never happens. Just want to see where your mind was. But obviously, listening or watching your story, I can see that resilience has been very evident over the last decade in your life. What principles from your personal tenacity do you employ when negotiating real estate deals or managing complex transactions for your clients?
Um, I would say just seeing the end goal and wanting to achieve that end goal and just working to get there, whether that's calmly talking to people or navigating the experience for the seller or buyer and letting them know each step that we're getting towards. Really just seeing that end goal in sight and not letting the journey to that end goal stress myself out so that way I can stay constant for my clients.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. It's always good to take life lessons and apply them to your personal career, and then you can do the same vice versa. But
Hmm.
nonetheless, like you said, just remaining focused on the goal and keep striving. That's what it's all about. I mean, and in real estate, you're going to face a lot of unforeseen challenges. I mean, things that you have no control over whatsoever, such as the appraisal, such as the inspection. Now, you've never had any issues with neighbors or anything like that, but in regards to maybe inspections, have you had a situation where an inspection didn't come back as smooth and clean and you kind of had to negotiate between the buyers and sellers to come to a resolution?
Yeah, so I had some sellers that were just feeling like high stress because they were selling two homes, relocating to Texas, and they just had a lot going on. So
Hmm.
even though the inspection itself wasn't like horrible, the buyer was asking for some things and I don't think they had the capacity to really deal with those small asks. And so I helped navigate them to realize like the buyer did offer over asking, these are very small repairs that we can do for them. And at the end of the day, it's going to get your house sold. And we don't really have to do we don't have to do a ton of work to get this done for the buyer. And
Right.
luckily, we were able to find, a handyman that was reasonably cost for the sellers, and it all worked out. But it was, when people react really quickly and upset, it's like, okay, you just got to take a deep breath and let's
Yeah.
work through this, and we're going to get through this together, and we'll make the buyer and seller happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Putting that knowledge to work right there. I see you like to travel too, April. A lot of people like to
Yes.
travel. That's good. Different places get you different experiences, get to see different cultures. How do you think your experience traveling has affected your capabilities in real estate or even your perception in real estate?
Um, that's a good question. I would say I feel like traveling, you get to learn how to find the special quality of a city pretty quickly. You get to find that one little spot that makes that city or place special. And I think that's the same with homes, is like being able to highlight maybe a unique feature that the home has and
Mm,
pointing those out to the buyers as you're looking for houses to help them kind of see things that maybe they wouldn't see, just from pictures
right.
or being in the house themselves.
Got it. Got it. Got it. I like that you're at this point in your career, that 3-year range right there. I have this talk often with guests who've been in, decades or whatever the case may be. And for the most part, we always have this talk of that 1 to 3 year range is that range where you're usually out doing a lot of footwork, trying to get continuous clientele, trying to close one deal, get the next one, like on a continuous basis, like trying to reach that range outside of your sphere of influence, your friends and family and things of
Hmm.
that. And then after 3 to 5 years, maybe, you're starting to experience a few more different experiences, a few more ups and downs, non-smooth transactions, if you will. Then as you get into, maybe 5 to 10, you start to iron out a little bit more. Some of those past clients start to, give in referrals, or they start to sell their home and continue, the cycle continues from there. Where do you feel like you are in your career right now? Do you feel like you are more of that? Your referrals are coming back. Do you feel like you are putting in a lot of footwork to get your clients? How would you describe your current point in your career?
So I do have a good referral network. I've kind of exhausted that, as you said, in that first 1 to 3 years. I I mean, to be frank, real estate will never be my full-time job. I don't personally love that chase
Hmm.
of the deal. I like just having people come to me organically. I share
Gotcha.
houses on my Facebook that I find interesting and cute, and if I get somebody from that, that's great. But I mean, I do like to reach out to leads and things like that, but the chase of the game is not for me. That's why I like the side hustle part of
Mm,
it, because it's a good extra income for my family and I enjoy people a lot. And so
nice.
getting to meet new people and talk with buyers and sellers is fun for me, but I'm not a big footwork person. I just believe that the deals that are supposed to come my way will come my way, and I've been blessed to have a lot of deals in the first 3 years, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to continue to put that
Speak on it. Yeah.
positive energy out into the universe, and
Hmm.
what will be.
There
That's
it is. I
my
love
take
it.
on how I do it.
No, no, hey, I love it. I love it just like that. I mean, you're being completely honest and transparent about where you have real estate in your career or in your life, I should say. And I mean, it seems to be doing you pretty well as far as, where you wanted to, what you want to get from it, I should say, is bringing in additional income. It's not taking away too much time from other things in your family. So, I would love the balance too. It sounds very great. And there's other people who are experiencing the same thing. There's other agents who are looking at it half time or doing it part time.
Hmm.
But regardless, you're still a professional. you're still knowledgeable, you still know your market, and you still are available to close deals. So that still makes you just as real as a professional as anyone who's doing it full time. So I want to put that out there first and foremost. Have you ever encountered a situation where a property had like an unconventional feature or layout that may have turned people off initially, but then you kind of like found the beauty in it and flipped it around?
Um, yeah, I did have a house. It was a cute little house on the river, but the bedrooms were small. And even though it
Mm,
was technically a three-bedroom house, it really was probably more of a two-bedroom. And
right.
so when I did an open house, I was really able to like highlight that special unique feature of that house, like I mentioned earlier. And pointing out that really this third bedroom is the sunroom and you could have it be your living room and you have the view of the water and
Mm,
so like I said, just really highlighting that one feature so people can see that. Because sometimes you go into a house and you just see the overall house and you're like,
right.
okay, this isn't going to work for me. But then when you have someone kind of sit down and like paint this picture of where your furniture could go and what you could use this space for and how you could, see yourself in that house, then I think
Mm-hmm.
then it helps to get the buyer to visualize themselves in that home and not discarding it so quickly.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's I've been in a few different homes myself where the rooms are relatively small, and initially, when I do the walkthrough, I'm like, I don't really see how I can make this work. But then, I mean, once you get things in there, you kind of make it work. Or you get
Hmm.
a real estate agent as yourself who does have that vision and, who does have that creative, flow where they can see rooms with multi purposes or, see what you can do with different types of rooms and the spaces in it. So, that takes the vision of, yourself, people like yourself. Great job. There, you have a story where you may have had a great relationship with a client after you close a deal where you two still speak today and keep an ongoing relationship.
Yeah, so actually, the client that was selling two homes and relocating, I helped them relocate to Michigan, and she unfortunately experienced a divorce shortly after she moved here. And so we bonded on that
Okay.
more, and we became friends. And then she got remarried, and I helped sell her now husband's home and her home here. And they're in Texas now, and we keep in touch. They just relocated a couple months ago, but
Gotcha.
yeah, we keep in touch and built a friendship while she was here. And that's the one thing I love about real estate is the relationships with the clients. Because the other house that had the weird layout, I am still friends with her. She's just this amazing woman who was in her, I think she just turned 70 and she sold her house and she had no idea where she was going. And
Hmm.
she's like, I'm just ready for my next adventure and I want to sell the house and land wherever I land. And so her and I still stay in touch as well.
I know, right? That has to be inspiring, right? Like it sounds like she's living her life to
Yeah.
the fullest. Like you gotta love that. That's nice. That's nice. I don't currently know your situation as far as home ownership, but I want to have like a hypothetical question with you again, right? Let's say you don't own a home, but you're aspiring to own a home today, 2023. Knowing what you know now and the resources that are available, April, what approach would you take to owning a home in 2023?
Well, one, I would talk to a lender and see where my financial well-being is to buy a home.
Right.
Once you know that, then you can have a plan of action on how to get to that next step. Working with a really great lender is honestly the best thing you can do on knowing what to do when you need to buy a house. Not only can they tell you what the programs that are available to help you with down payments and things like that, but they can also give you an idea of what your payment is going to look like and what you can
Hmm.
afford, which is game changing. You need to know what you can afford before you can even look at houses.
Right.
You can find out from them, what are your average closing costs going to be if you need to bring cash to the table. If you do, then, creating a plan of action to start saving for those closing costs and things like that. But honestly, I think in my own personal experience, I decided to buy a home in 2020.
Hmm.
And so I talked to a
Oh,
lender
great.
and she
Yeah.
gave me a plan of action of what I needed to do. And so 2021 is when I bought my first home. And so No, if I didn't talk to a lender, I wouldn't have any idea of what I needed to do to be ready. So I think talking to a lender and getting a plan of action is so vital to being ready to buy a house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is before you even reach out to an agent, correct?
Well, luckily my bestie's an agent, so
Okay.
I have an agent in my pocket. But yeah, she gave me the lender's information. She was the one that
Mm.
connected me with a lender.
Okay.
And real
There you
estate
go.
agents do know the good lenders out there. So if anybody ever wants a lender referral, I would say reach out to a real estate agent because they know who the good lenders are because they work with them all the time.
Okay. So it's pretty much no wrong way to go about it as far as starting out, either reaching out to a lender first or an agent first, correct?
Correct.
All right. Just want to make sure. Well, thank you so much for confirming and sharing your experience with us here on the closing table, April. At this moment, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
Well, thank you again for having me on this podcast. It's been fun. And to anybody who's thinking of real estate as a side hustle, for sure do it because it offers freedom and flexibility without the structure of a second job if you definitely need a second income. Um, you can find me on Facebook at April Polihonki. I know the last name's a mouthful. It's Polihonki, but yeah, just find me on there and shoot me a message. I'd love to help anybody who's interested in real estate, whether it's for business or, purchasing or buying or
Mm-hmm.
purchasing or selling.
There it is. There it is. Thank you so much again, April. We appreciate you. And for our YouTube viewers right now, yes, you. If you got into this point in the video, do us both a favor and hit the like button, please and thank you. Make sure you also share and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. April, I like to leave our audience with a question before they leave the chat to get them thinking. So this is for you, audience. How do you feel about homes with high-tech features like smart appliances, automated lights, and security systems, and voice-activated controls? Are you a fan of it in your home? Do you have it in your home? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.